Welcome back to the Pitch and Ashland University Men's Soccer Coaches Show. I'm Kid Krakenstone alongside Coach Roberts. Coach, thanks for stopping aside today.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to have you on and recap the 2025 fall campaign. When you hear the terminology fall campaign of 2025, what comes to mind for you?
Yeah, it was, obviously it was a tough one, a 4-9-4 record. Something we'd hope be a bit different, but it is what it is. But it always was going to be, I think, somewhat that type of year. As you know, story, we graduated a lot of seniors the year before, and we started with a very young team. So it was, I think in the end, I was pretty pleased with the group. I think they're going to be immensely talented in the future. With some really good freshmen that we put on the field this year, played a lot of games. So that's gonna bode well for us in the future, 100%.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And when you look at one player in particular, Tom Woodward, obviously being recognized in the conference awards this year. And he's a freshman too, so obviously having a lot more room to grow over the course of his AU career. What'd you address his play like this year?
Yeah, and even Tom, I think, you could tell he was a freshman. I think it took him a little bit to get going this year, and at the end, I think he was a different player. But Tom, Hayden Clark, Antonio Soto, players like that were very, very talented for us as freshmen, and there was a number of them that did that. So, but Tom certainly, he scored the goals up front and had the assists, and those stats stick out. But he was very good, and him and a bunch of other kids, they have a really bright future ahead of them.
Yeah, and you take a look at the goalkeeper position, a lot of jostling in that regard this year, but some guys really making some big plays, different moments throughout the year. Moving into the offseason, how are you kind of addressing that goalkeeper position?
Well, we want the keepers that we have to keep improving. We were young in that position, as you know. Alvaro was a sophomore with us, and so we're recruiting obviously for that position too. So just hard work in the off season. We'd like to get a couple more keepers in here next year. Maybe one with a bit more experience, maybe a freshman that we're working on right now. So, like every position, we're trying to strengthen it.
Yeah, and I think the nice thing is about your team right now is it's a very young team, but it's a team that's very impressionable as well. Where if you guys bring in some talented individuals or some transfers, some recruits, some freshmen, that's going to create natural competition in the locker room. And speaking of that natural competition, how as a coaching staff do you handle that?
Well, first of all we want it, and I think in all seriousness, looking back at the season, I think we knew we were very young. We lost Noah Brock early in the season, who was a transfer from West Virginia Wesleyan. Noah had 2 years D2 under his belt. That age and that experience that he had was something that we really missed as the season went on. So we've got to strengthen that area in terms of, I think, with this young group now. Now what we've got to do is get 4 or 5. As you said, transfers, maybe a graduate student that can come in and really give us a bit more maturity in the group and a bit more experience. So we want to create that competition, whether it's older players, younger players, and of course we also want to recruit in more younger players, because I think this past year that's where we really did well, was that younger group. We've really got some talent in there. I think we've got to do a little bit better on our international recruitment and our transfers, those type of things.
Yeah, Coach, and I think that obviously your season ended 3 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
What's been the timetable like since then? What have you guys been up to? Have you guys been doing like those end of season meetings? What's that all been like?
Yeah, we do the individual meetings, we get through them, and we had 38 kids or so through those. So they take some time. That takes 2 or 3 days, and I think it was a new experience for Nick and Pedro to go through those. They're quite interesting. And then, I met with the athletic director. We talked about the season stuff, and then trying to take a little bit of time off. But you get into this, and it's amazing. One day I had 60 emails from recruits.
Wow. On
one day, and the same. When I wake up in the morning, my WhatsApp is full, and so that's going on. We're going to be we're on the road recruiting. Pedro is out at the JUCO National Championships. I'm heading over to Europe in a couple of weeks to do some of the showcases over there, and I think we'll be down in Florida. So it just never stops, and it's but recruitment is really what's going to make you successful in the end. So we've got to do a little bit better in some areas than what we did last year.
Yeah, and obviously too now you're approaching Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything like that. What's the timetable look like there? Is it still strictly recruitment? Are you kind of working with the guys back here? What's all that looking like?
No, we're done with the guys back here. We did a couple of we had some kids in for trainers, for some tryouts, but we're basically done till January now. They can get a break. But then when we get back in January, we'll be hitting it hard and stuff. But right now, it's on the road. It's recruiting.
And when you look back at the year as a whole, we've obviously talked about some good things, some bad things. But when it comes down to maybe the side of the things off the field, how did things go there? The locker room and the team chemistry as a whole.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's a young group, and we sat with the guys all through the individual meetings, and most of the guys feel very positive about what we're doing. So that's always good. But I do think it's a young group. It was new for a lot of kids when you're putting a lot of 18-year-old kids out there. They really don't know what to expect. They don't know what to expect in terms of the standard of play and how fast and physical the game can be, especially when we're asking them to play a lot of minutes. But also, the rivalries. It's understanding what a Tiffin match means, what a Finley game means. Those rivalries that me and you understand.
Of course.
A lot of the younger kids, and even an international kid may turn up here and they're like, "Who's Tiffin?" They have no clue. So it's trying to get the locker room in a bit of a mindset about these type of things, and that's the one thing that I think will carry over to next year now is the kids. And I said, some of the kids said, now do you understand what these games mean? And like, yeah, now we understand. So hopefully those type of things in the locker room we get next year. But the kids have been great. I mean, they're very positive, and it's a little bit strange for me because to just really only win 4 games, I really felt that I enjoyed a lot of the season and the way we played.
Okay.
Which is a little bit crazy to look at it that way, but I did, because I think I can see in the long term, I think it's going to be a really good team.
Yeah, and when you look at your team come, let's say next August, where do you want the team to be?
Well, I want us to be, we want to be competing for the GMAC and doing the things that we've done in the past few years. Obviously, we won it in 22, and since then we've been in the, we finished second last year and fourth the year before. So we've always been up in the top there, competing there. So I think we've got to be back in that area. And and it can change pretty quickly. I was telling the guys the story at the end of the season. You may know this story, but in 2007, Ashland men's soccer went 0-17.
Oh wow!
And it was incredible, really. I remember watching from afar, and they lost games 2-1 and 1-0. They were a good team.
Yeah.
And then the following year, they went 14-5-1.
Wow.
And went to, I believe, the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament.
Incredible.
John Hall, the coach back then, will tell me that it was the largest turnaround in NCAA history. And our athletic trainer, Dave Jameson, played on that team. But
incredible.
So the point that I made at the end of the season, guys, hey, here's what happened in 2007. I told them a couple of experiences that I'd had. In 2014, I had my Urbana team, and they went 6-10. The next year, they went to the Sweet 16. The year after, they went to the Sweet 16.
Wow.
The point is, it can change quickly. If you keep the right mindset and you're getting the recruitment right, it can change very quickly.
No doubt. Well, Coach, good luck this offseason.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll step aside and we'll catch you guys again when we return in the spring to continue to update you all on Ashland University men's soccer. And as a reminder, if you need any information, stay tuned here to the Eagle Network or head to goashlandeagles.com. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in right here on the Eagle Network.